Yeah.
All right, so welcome to another Talking with Intent. We're here in our new facility in Ellisville, Mississippi, and man, we're happy to be here. What about you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
long time coming, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A little bit different from the last one too.
Just a tad.
Just a tad. Yeah. So we, you know, about 2 years ago, I think, is when we started in Spike's Carport. I think.
Over 2 years.
And beginning of COVID, you know, we started in a probably 600 square foot carport outside with a 6 foot tall plyo wall and a 6 foot long mound, and we were running, you know, 5 or 6 guys through there. Talk about that experience. What was that like?
It was crazy,
Yeah.
kinda. I mean, middle of a pandemic. There's no gyms are open. There's nowhere to go. Nobody really wants to get out and throw. Can't go to West Jones. The whole school shuts down. And really, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it was for me.
Being able to still get my training in and get prepared to go to college.
Yeah.
Even through the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. Diamond in the rough, kind of. You know, being able to have a spot to just be able to do anything. You know, and then from there we got lucky as well with Rand over at TK South. Let us rent that building out from him, which is awesome. And then, you know, had our temporary home on in Laurel on Hillcrest Drive. Definitely not the nicest of the facilities, but got the job done, and now we're here. So
it was serviceable.
It was serviceable. I think that's a good word for that. It was serviceable.
Oh yeah.
But I want to talk to you guys specifically about the move over here. There was a lot of moving parts, a lot of hands, a lot of self-construction. Talk to me about that. What was that like?
Really just diving in and seeing what we could get done on our own without having to hire help, you know, to be able to save money and cut costs. But I think one thing I think it really does, especially for these guys that are going to be working here, is that it allows them to be able to appreciate all the work that goes into creating a nice facility like this.
And to take care of it, yeah.
Right, so I think actually long term, I think that'll actually be a lot better to have those guys really appreciate everything we've been trying to build here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially, man, I mean, once again, coming from the old building to here, it's night and day, to say the least. All right, worst part about the move?
Everything.
Worst. Find one specific part.
That's a tough one. That's a loaded question.
All right, put it this way. What's been the best part about it? If you can find the best part, we'll start there.
For me, I think it's, I mean, obviously we're together all the time at the other facility, but I mean, being with Briar and P-Rad and everyone else, literally over 15 hours a day, I mean, we've built relationships with each other that nobody can take away.
Gotten a little annoyed from time to time.
Yeah,
we haven't gotten annoyed with each other.
Yeah, I think we've been able to learn how to do a lot of things that, like, just like building these mounds, you know, like, I thought they would turn out okay. I didn't think they were going to turn out as good as they did.
Yeah.
And like, just like Bassett said, he learned a lot about just like how to do different things, just with
life lessons too. Right. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, especially for me, coming out of finishing second year JUCO, still being a little bit immature.
Oh. And
this last month is like really
open the eyes a little bit.
Like grow up and mature a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what are you guys most excited for being in here now?
Literally everything.
Air conditioner.
Air conditioner. That's it. That's all I care about. Air conditioning and heat, baby. We're good.
And
We're
office,
good.
man.
And office,
I get to be in an office.
That'll be nice. That'll be and being able to see everything out of the office too. That'll definitely be a good one.
And having space, having like where we were before, you know, we could really only have one like bullpen, like full distance mound going. Now we'll be able to have 4.
Yeah.
We'll be able to have potentially, you know, over there we had 1 to 2 plyo mounds going at one time. Now we'll be able to have
4 or 5.
3 to 5.
Yeah. Definitely being able to functionally have more athletes in here that are consolidated in a spot where we're still able to keep an eye on and make sure that things are going properly. That's going to be huge. Because that's the other thing I will say about those massive facilities too. It gets kind of hard to see where everybody's at too. Like obviously, like guys are coming in here trying to learn, so we're not just going to throw you out there and say, go do your stuff. So, you know, having it kind of consolidated where it's a big facility, but it also kind of feels
contained in one space.
Kind of contained in one space and almost personal. It's not massive building where you can't see from one corner to the other, you can still see everything.
Right. And having a facility like this, it allows us to give our guys, our athletes, the level of training that we're capable of giving them.
Yeah.
Whenever you're over there and it's
with the amenities.
Right.
Yeah.
When it's so hot over there in the summer, you don't have enough space.
Yeah, but like Case, for instance, Case was dying in that old building and was topping, I think, 45 something on a med ball throw.
45-3.
First one he's in here at 48 on the first day.
Right.
Same exact gun and everything, so we know it's not a malfunction.
This facility
shows.
just allows us to be able to do our job at the highest level.
Yeah,
really.
it does. It does. It gives us the tools to be able to help them where they need to be helped.
Right.
I think the other thing it's also going to do is the educational standpoint. Having something like this, you know, I won't say that we didn't know we were talking about in the old building, but for some reason, you know, I'm sure we all understand that having a nicer facility, people will be a little bit more adapt to listen, because ultimately that is our goal. You know, we talk about it all the time. Our goal here is to educate. Our goal here is to not confront belief systems of baseball, but try to help people become the best baseball players they can be in whatever way, shape, and form that means. And I'll tell you, this is gonna. We're blessed. We're really blessed to be here, and definitely excited to get this running. Excited to see what we can get out of here. Excited to see what kind of numbers we can put up.
It's going to be special.
It's going to be special, yeah. This has been in the works for 6 months, 7 months?
Yeah, been a minute.
6 or 7 months. First off, Briar, this go as fast as you expected or a little bit slower than we expected?
Just a tad bit slower.
So when we first started this process, I think we were looking at an August completion date for everything. We moved into the baseball facility in August.
Yeah. We even originally said that we said we could potentially be in the gym in July.
Yes,
yeah,
I think I remember
coming back from school in February, and y'all were talking about the new facility.
Yeah.
And me and P-Rat were like, well, when's it going to open up? And I remember y'all being like, probably first week of summer, man. That's what the goal is. We can expect that. And then we get here.
Nope.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Of August,
and then there's a hiccup, and then there's a hiccup, and then there's a hiccup, and then it gets pushed, and then there's a hiccup. But we'll talk about it real quick. So you know, I'll kind of describe the new building for those who haven't been in here. So the entirety of this space, that's going to also include the gym as well, and also our entrance area, is going to be about 28,000 square feet. We're sitting in about 4,000 square foot of a baseball facility attached to another roughly 4,000 square foot of an entrance area with, you know, some retail space, some offices, some other things. But directly adjacent with our facility is going to be a 19,000 square foot top of the line gym, and man, I'm ready for that.
Nicest thing I've ever seen.
That is, yeah, it is going to be one of the nicest gyms I've been in. I am incredibly looking forward to that, you know, for my own use, let alone everybody else's. But talk to me about that. What you guys thinking on that?
I think it's going to be really special to not only have that type of facility for the athletes, but also the fact that we're making that available for the general public as well.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like,
same exact thing.
So y'all grew up here. Obviously, I'm not from this area. What do you think, if you told somebody in this area, hey, a gym's going to be put down? What's the vision? What do they see? Like, what's a nice gym to people?
What we're going to build.
What we're going to build?
I mean, no.
I would
say. People typically would, if you're telling them they're building a gym, they're going to expect your typical 24/7 Crunch Fitness or Fitness Depot.
Yeah, and I remember I've had some people mention something to the effect of, oh, are you guys looking for, you know, used equipment and scouring around to fill it out? And I'm just kind of like, yeah, sort of. No.
Yeah, how many times have you been
to put it lightly, without bragging too much, this is going to be the nicest gym I've ever been in, and I've worked in a lot of professional gyms. I've worked out in some of the top line gyms around the country. man, I'm ready for this. The amenities that are going to be in the gym, we're going to have Sorinex equipment. We're going to have a total of 15 racks. And those racks, 5 of them are going to be flushed up against the wall. On each one of those, you're going to have a high-low pulley. Then we're going to have 5 double racks. Each one of them is going to be laser cut with our logos and custom coloring with that as well. Having free weights, going to have all the selectorized equipment, all the cardio equipment, massive turf space for sleds, sprints. We're going to have laser timers. We're going to have Tendo units. We're going to have every asset that you could need for sports performance training, first and foremost. That is what we are. I think that's something that does have to be said, but on top of that, we're also covering that 24/7 and that general population, because I also think that the caliber could be a little bit higher in the area, and being able to offer that to the community, I think, is also going to make a really positive impact. I hope that really is my ultimate goal, is for a positive impact to take place in the community where people can hopefully prioritize some things a little bit differently, because my personal belief, and this is just my opinion, but is taking care of your body. The mind follows directly after that. Yeah. And when you're able to kind of create that connection of that mind and body is when things start happening in people's lives outside of sports. That's just general life and wellness.
Having a facility like this with the gym, with it being as all-encompassing as it's going to be, I think then you give the people the ability to, it's a lot easier for them to be able to address that aspect of their lives.
Yeah. Because if the resources aren't there, how can you?
Right. They get to go to a top of the line. We'll have top of the line equipment for any aspect of training that they want to do.
Oh, and forgetting the studio room too. We're going to have classes in there, yoga classes, bar classes, hopefully some HIIT. We're going to be working on a lot of things in the studio for the general population as well.
Right.
We're excited is an understatement. I'll say that.
There's no word for it.
So you grew up here. If you would have had access to a facility like this, what do you think would have changed?
Instead of all those free times where I'm playing MLB The Show or just doing whatever, watching TV, my time would have been spent here.
You just touched on something that I'm hoping happens, which is whether people come in here. First off, obviously, I want people to come in here and work out. I don't want them just to come and hang out. But I also want to create a spot where people just kind of come and spend some time, because we're gonna have the space. Like being here, the culture here. We want to build a culture of high expectations for the self, not me to you, but myself to myself. I have high expectations for myself and living my life the way that I want to live it, doing the things that I have to be doing, just continuing down that path. I think if we create that culture here, it's going to be pretty special.
Oh yeah. I think growing up here, a lot of people around here tend to give more when they feel like they're cared about. And
I think that's universal.
Having all this nice stuff, people feel like we're here for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
cool. Why Ellisville? So I'm originally from Virginia. Came here because my fiance, and I honestly fell in love with the people here. I think people here are caring and compassionate, and I think that's something that is rare. I think that with what we're doing here, we give people access to be even better people. If people are already that good in an area and you give them access to something like this, I'm very interested to see what happens. But the other reason we kind of chose this area, people would ask, why not Hattiesburg, why not Jackson? What we're trying to build here specifically Intent Performance to begin with is, we're trying to answer some questions that may not have been answered in baseball yet. I think that there's a lot of good organizations out there. I think there's a lot of people doing good things, but I think that baseball is such a complicated and intricate sport that there are so many different variables that can play into it that when you get an answer to one, man, that's just 10% of the piece. And I think that you know, what we're trying to do here specifically is we're trying to find answers. You know, we're starting with the resources that we have, but we're going to continue to reinvest in our own selves. You know, we're going to continue to try to push to get, you know, top of the line motion capture systems, to get, you know, force plates eventually, to find the resources and the assets that we can use to really be able to start doing, you know, our own R&D as well. You know, we're, you know, trying to do everything on that extent. You know, I think the reason we chose Ellisville is because it's central. You know, people from Hattiesburg, they may not like driving that far, you know, 20 to 30 minutes, but, you know, if it's a top of the line facility that you can't really get access to anywhere else in really the southeast, it's going to be worth it. 30-minute drive. I drove 45 minutes to go work out in some shed in JUCO. I'd do that. I mean, I might be different there, but you know, and the same thing for Jackson too. You know, we are probably 45 to an hour away from them, but you know, even that, if you're coming 3 times a week, I'd even say it's worth it because of the assets they have here are just going to be different, man. You're not gonna find something like this anywhere else. I'll say that.
Yeah.